What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, powered again once again today by BetUS. We are going to be talking about some of the solutions on the offensive line. Obviously, if you watched my video yesterday, if you follow me on Twitter, you saw my rage tangents. I don't know what we'd call them. It was pretty frustrating watching this offensive line. So now I want to kind of flip the script, take a look at specifically the guard play, and talk about the Ravens have the bye week in front of them. There is a real opportunity to make a change, and so I want to kind of focus on you know what could they do? And just to be fully transparent, John Harbaugh was asked about this yesterday in an interview. Our guy Jeff Zrebick tweeting it, saying, and I quote, "I don't think it merits any changes right now," referring to the offensive line and specific changes during the bye week. That said, we've heard coaches say things like that, and it's not so much will they, it's should they, and what should they do. I don't think it's reasonable to think they'll change both guard spots. So the question I'm asking you guys, and what I want you guys to drop a comment down below, is if you got to switch one of Patrick McCary and Daniel Falele, who are you going to switch? Who are you going to switch to, and why? Now, I'm going to be super clear about this. I've been tweeting this over and over again. The best offensive line combination and you can see my tweet there. That's from September 16th. I also tweeted it during preseason. Ronnie Stanley, Andrew Voorhees, Tyler Linderbaum, Ben Cleveland, Roger Rosengarten. All along, that is the line I would have gone with. I think it had the most upside. I think it fit the scheme the best. And despite some of the struggles we saw from Andrew Voorhees, and I will be doing a study of his game during the bye week, just if we do get to see him, what did he look like before the injury? But I just think that's your highest ceiling that fits this scheme. So that's the question I'm asking. We're going to start with McCary, then we're going to look at Falele, and I want you guys to drop a comment down below. Let me know, what move are you making? Who are you moving it to? And why? Before we jump into it, lines are up, ready to go for week 14. I'm super excited for this NFC North matchup. The Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions. Lions open as -3 favorites, and you can get in on the action at BetUS by entering promo code YouTube150. Today, you'll get 150% sign-up bonus and 125% on your next two deposits. Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Now, just quickly before we jump into it, looking at the pressures allowed by the Ravens on Sunday, per PFF, Patrick McCary allowing 9 pressures, 4 from Ronnie Stanley, which I think we saw pretty clearly in the video. The left side of this O-line really struggled, combining for 13, and then 2 from Falele and Linderbaum, 1 from Roger Rosengarten. Now, I have a little bit, I don't know, I think Dana Falele had a little bit more than 2, but you guys know me, I usually disagree with them. So let's jump into the film. We're going to start with Patrick McCary, and some of these plays will be redundant if you watched the video yesterday, but I really want to just narrow in on McCary consecutively. We're going to look at some pass plays, then get into some run plays. So focusing on the left guard here, we're going to get a one-on-one matchup against Milton Williams. And this is where we just see that first initial knockback. And this was always going to be the fundamental issue. Whenever I've been asked about whether or not Patrick McCary could play left guard, my take was always he lacked the functional strength. So you're going to see right off the snap, he gets into a great position. And this is what Patrick McCary has done so well. Right off the snap, quick feet, nice posture. He's down, he's ready to go. But as that contact comes, he just doesn't have the power to anchor and gets knocked back. And so I still think, if Ronnie Stanley is getting beat to the edge like he is on this rep, so right there, as he's going to get beat, this is where Lamar needs to be able to step up in the pocket. But Patrick McCary getting caved in really prevents that from happening. So as much as Ronnie Stanley's man is going to get there on first contact on the sack and take him down, I still think this sack is mostly because there's nowhere for Lamar to step up. As you can see, Ronnie is still between his man and Lamar in the pocket. The pocket's a curve. It has a back to it, and Ronnie's pushing him out the back of the pocket, but he needs for his quarterback to be able to step up in the pocket. So again, functional strength. You can see those arm length issues, just a low margin for error when his hand placement isn't there. Keep carrying on, get into another rep against Milton Williams. And again, same thing. Look how quick he's out of his stance. It's one of the things he does so well. It's what makes some of this so frustrating, but he oversets, and you can kind of see him, Milton Williams starting on his outside shoulder, his left shoulder. So he's basically a 3-tech right here. And as McCary quick sets him, see how quickly Milton Williams' head gets across. And that's why again, we talk about arm length. That's your margin for error. When he misses these hands, you can see his hands right in the freeze frame. His hands are just gone. And that just opens an easy pass. So just not hitting those hands, not having the functional strength, issues being caused. I know some people thought this might have been a screen. I can assure you, if it was a screen, you would have seen McCary passing him off and then moving forward. This is a very clear two-hand strike that he misses, and then he ends. One of the huge issues was that pressure coming up his face. Comes an issue throughout the rep, and he ends up getting this game. You just saw that miss to Isaiah Likely, where it looked like Lamar was looking for Likely to break a little deeper. Just looks like they weren't on the same page. I don't think Lamar overthrew it. I don't think he was throwing it too Likely there. I think he was off schedule with where he was going. But as you can see, early losses in that first quarter. Probably the best interior when you think about it, with William huge issues, McCary being a key piece in that. Ends up in a one-on-one again here, and you can see again. Yeah, so issues with McCary in the run game specifically, getting knocked back. We'll see it in the Falele clip. With just it comes down to what's the alternative. Do you put a guy like Ben Cleveland in there at left guard? Do you put in Andrew Voorhees, reinsert him post-injury? I personally would be going towards Voorhees because we definitely saw struggles from him. And again, I'm going to do a video next week to take a look at it. But not having him play means we're playing a player that's, Patrick McCary is not a long-term starter. Daniel Falele, I don't think, is a long-term starter. So we're taking away developmental snaps where better for that long-term payoff. With these two players that they have in there, they're not the long-term answer. They're not paying off in the short term. It's not like it's a high ceiling where you can just kind of set it and forget it. In my opinion, that guy is Ben Cleveland, because when we have seen him play, he has been quite good. I don't think he's going to be a long-term Raven because for whatever reason, there's friction between him and the staff. The staff don't like him. I don't really know what it is, but at least I know that every time I've put him into a football game, minus that 1 week when he played against Aaron Donald in his rookie year, I think it was, where he had some pass protection struggles. Other than that, every time I put him in there against the Steelers the last couple of years where he's played at the end of the year, he's looked good, not a liability. So that's that kind of high ceiling player where I know I can start him and I'm going to get average guard play. Maybe it'll develop a little bit. I don't think he's going to be here long term, but at least I know I can put him in there and he's not going to be a liability for me. You also have Josh Jones on the bench, who is clearly an option, could be a guy to at least give a look. He did play it in Houston last year. I still think they wanted him to develop him as a tackle, but those are some of the options that you could put in there at left guard. Jump into Daniel Falele, who I know a lot of people have had issues with week over week, and just a guy that shouldn't be having these types of struggles at his size, especially with some of the clear, size advantages he has. Gets out in a screen here. And, this has been a huge issue, is him playing in space. You can see Jalen Carter sticking to this quite well. He read the screen really well. You can see him go into low gear. He's going to stick with Linderbaum. But as Falele gets out in space, he's got Nakobe Dean, who's like 5'11", 205. That's probably not right. He's probably a little bit bigger than that. He's little. And so Falele should be able to get out there and swallow him. And he just misses. And this happens every time Falele gets out and stacks on a screenplay, whatever. You're still getting some positive yards. We get into that pass rep down in the red zone. In the end zone, because this is, we're going to see here. Let's focus in on Falele. This could have been a safety, because I think there's a little bit of a hold. So he's going to be one-on-one with Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is going to cross his face, and he just gets beat so cleanly. And you can see right now, Jalen Carter's got him beat. That left arm of Daniel Falele's, that would have been monumental. This isn't getting better. He has a couple of these, maybe not a couple. He has at least one of these a game. But there's been multiple games with a couple. And this is just like, again, Jalen Carter is one of the best defensive tackles in the league. I get it. It's a tough block, but that's what's going to happen in the playoffs. That's what's going to happen against the best when he's going against Chris Jones in the AFC Championship again. It's going to be those types of top dogs. And so that has to be the measuring stick if this team has Super Bowl to be functional. And a good example is Tyler Linderbaum, who does have losses, but they're slow burn functional losses. But he just gets beat so cleanly right off the snap. That goes right inside, and he gives up contact to the quarterback. It just can't happen, and it's happened way too often this year. Keep rolling along. Get out in space here, and you size of him. Again, it's Jalen Carter, one of the best. They've used their formation here to try and isolate him. They go with the wide defensive tackles. Linderbaum's going to slide left, help like McCary. one-on-one rep. Again, hard. I get it. Difficulty's high. But this is not the way a 6'8", 360 guard should be losing. This technique is ugly. See right there. Look how wide that base is. I usually like a wide base. That's way too wide, and you can see him leaning back in his hips. So as that contact comes, he has to walk back his feet because he's got no center of gravity. And then we get another potential hold at the end of that rep. So just walked back way too quick. Kick the corner in the face scramble that we saw. I think we get into a couple runs here about this. His down blocks didn't do crap either. You can see that right there. The only guy that's kind of free here is Nolan Smith. He would have to chase down Derrick Henry. Pretty fast guy. Maybe he catches him. Not sure. Maybe that's a house. And he's lost. We are running an athletic scheme off like a five-man protect second level. Doesn't look good. Looks hesitant too, which I don't really understand. As soon as he clears here, he should be working into that second level, and he just misses. He can't make blocks in the second level. Huge issue. And here's that block that we looked at with McCary, where this is the guy that, according to John Harbaugh, we got Andrew Voorhees, we got Ben Cleveland. Drop a comment down below.